Okay, Kathy. So boy. Oh, you are a recorded secretary?
Yes, I am.
How lovely. Hey, you're off the hook. Good evening and welcome, sort of, I guess, to the Board of Appeals meeting on February 12th, coming to order at 6 p.m. The first order of business, being as how it's a new year, we have to elect a chairman and secretary. Any have suggestions?
I nominate Susan Gardner.
I was afraid you would. All those in favor? Thank you, I think. Sort of good to know where your enemies are. We also need a secretary because Joan Barnes, who filled that role, has left the board. So anybody? Somebody's got to do it, people. I'll nominate Peter Rhines.
Now I know where my enemies are.
One second, that's it.
We got this.
All those in favor?
We got it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Bring him some pen.
Well, actually, we have a recording secretary tonight, so you're sort of off the hook.
Okay. You're hired, you're hired.
The appeal is from the Maine Department of Transportation requesting a reversal of the determination of the code enforcement officer that Maine Department of Transportation is required to apply for a certificate of appropriateness before demolishing the building at 36 Water Street. When they filed this with the town, the state also filed with Maine Business Court. As of 3:30 this afternoon, no action had been taken on that filing with the business court. So I would entertain a motion to table this matter until 2 weeks after I, as chairman, have been notified of any decision from the Maine Business Court.
Call for discussion.
After this motion, we can discuss. Thank you. Can I have a motion?
I so move.
Is there a second? Okay. Jim?
Thank you. MDOT has filed this appeal with the appeals board, circumventing the processes of local home rule ordinances. I maintain here that besides filing an appeal from our code enforcement officer's letter to them, asking them to desist on the demolition, the code officer in court pointed out the existence of our ordinances, including the historic preservation ordinance that requires a COA process. This is no news to MDOT. They've been aware of this for over 2 years through the process. All through this process, when a COA review has been brought up, there was no statement saying that they didn't have to comply with local ordinances. I'm no lawyer, but I've spoken with lawyers, and I've done a review of the Maine state statutes regarding both home rule, zoning, and preservation. And in the appeal that MDOT has filed as attachment I-A, they say in paragraph 3, that Maine MDOT is not required by state law to comply with the Wiscasset Historic Preservation Ordinance. Therefore,
Jim? Excuse me. The question before us is whether or not to table.
I'm
This
getting
year.
to that point.
And
Did
I will not entertain discussion of what the
the point I'm making is
appeal is about.
the determination that DOT is required to apply for certificate of appropriateness should be reversed is contrary to what I find in Maine statutes on home rule. And my concern is this: if we table it for discussion, and this goes forward in court, I don't know if we have anyone representing us in the business court. Do you know if the town is represented in
Yes,
this?
we do.
Okay, we do. Yeah, very good. Because the issue at hand here is home rule.
The immediate issue is whether or not we can follow this within the terms of the motion. Is there further discussion on that? All those in favor of tabling this matter until 2 weeks after I have been notified of the decision from the Maine Business Court? All those in favor? Opposed? Reason?
From my reading of the paperwork, the code enforcement officer has done his you know the word I'm trying to get out.
Yep.
And it's not my job to circumvent the process that's in place. And I don't believe that whatever action this board takes tonight will have any impact on the courts, nor do I really care what impact it has on the courts. I don't work for the courts, I represent the people of Wiscasset and the process that's set forth. And now we are trying to circumvent our own processes by tabling it for them, in my opinion.
We cannot make a decision on a matter that is in court until it is out of court. Right? Is that, yes?
Good.
Did I simplify that too much?
I thought I'd give a quick summary. I just want to clarify, it looks like you've already have voted.
Yes.
Okay. Phil Saucier, town attorney, I'm here for the board tonight. Just a quick overview process, but I think this might be helpful. As you know, there are a couple suits going on right now, and there's a separate lawsuit that the town has filed against the DOT that a different firm is representing the town on. Our firm is not involved in that. That's processing, I'm not involved in that. This was an appeal of the code officer's determination that the DOT had to comply with the ordinance. That's what that other suit's actually sort of about too. So what the DOT has asked for is they filed it both here and in the business court because there is a question of jurisdiction that you shouldn't get into if you're going to table it tonight, whether the board even has jurisdiction here that appeal under your ordinance. So the DOT filed in both venues out of abundance of caution. So it's sitting in both places. What the DOT has asked for, I think it's a prudent response, and I see some of the abutters letter from Attorney Harp says he has an objection to that as well, is that this matter be tabled until the other matter has been settled or the court has ruled on that because it would determine the outcome. So that's what's going on here. I think it's a prudent request given the fact that there's other litigation going on that's related. So in the event that there'd be a decision that came out, you're right, it would come back to you if the issue is still live at that point, and then you could rule on it. But it's not getting the merits at all. It's not talking about whether the code officer is right or wrong tonight. It's just tabling it to a date in the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will say that the whole proceeding of this appeal has been extraordinary. Just want this to go on the record. I've been chairman of this board for 40 years, thereabouts, more or less. Certainly served on it that long. For all of that time, when an appeal has come into the town office, it has been within 24 hours given to me, or I received a phone call, get yourself in here, we've got an appeal. This appeal was received by the town office on December 15th. I was notified on January 12th. Meanwhile, the attorneys for the town and for MDOT came to an agreement to waive the time requirements of our ordinance. They did this too late for it to be an issue, because we should have posted it, heard it within 30 days. They came to this agreement within, I think, 25 days. Moot point. My first instinct was not to go there. However, I hope that this will never happen again, because it has made for a lot of confusion as to where we go in the future and where we go going forward. There are procedures in place that worked all of these years, and now we are having to play catch up, which I personally think we shouldn't have to do. I think that our lawyers, MDOT, our Board of Selectmen should all take notice of the way this town is running itself these days. Enough said. We have no further business before this board. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, yeah. Phil Sauce here.
Okay.
Phil Sauce here.